The opportunity to design the BMW i cars was probably something that you probably once in a lifetime will ever experience, because it's about a new brand or sub-brand, BMW i, which we had to create, of course, a new identity specific for this brand. We had, right from the beginning, developed a specific design strategy for the BMW i sub-brand, where we, of course, want to combine the idea of sustainability, responsibility, together with the idea of emotion, and this is something that we call Next Premium. The BMW i3 is built around a very innovative concept, which we call Live Drive. What is it exactly? It is pretty much the idea to split, let's say, the driver and the passenger cabin to, let's say, the drivetrain. And actually, this is what is possible when it comes to electric car, because you have to design this car in a totally different manner. And I can show you also what it really means when it comes to, let's say, for example, the interior design. You see that we have into the i3 an interior which is actually very, let's say, spacious. In order to design BMW i, the i3 and also the i8, we had at the design department two main challenges that we had to address. One was, of course, to define the look and feel of BMW i, because as being a sub-brand, on one side you will recognize BMW, but you will also recognize some, let's say, specific icons or character for this new brand. And the second challenge was, of course, for us, the integration of, let's say, a great deal of new technology which are coming into these cars, the i3, for example, such as the drivetrain, the electric drivetrain, and as well the lightweight construction that you will see in the form of the carbon body. I would like now to show you what makes the design of the i3 so special. We can start, for example, at the front. You see that we've been using some typical BMW elements, such as the kidney, such as the emblem, but we could treat them in a totally different manner. For example, this is an electric car, and the first thing that's going to bump to your eyes is, like, of course, this is closed, this is normal, this is an electric car. But we had the possibility to signal the idea of e-drivetrain through the introduction of this blue that you see here around on the kidneys, as well around the emblem, which is like specific for BMW i cars. Another detail is, for example, the front lamp, which is like full LED. This is highly efficient. You will have like less energy consumption. And additionally, it looks like very precise, very high-tech. What you also see is the very strong contrast between, let's say, the black belt, which extends from the front up to the rear over the roof, and, let's say, the body colors design element, such as this bumper. This gives a very strong contrast, but also helps to divide the proportion or the, let's say, the height of the whole car through this, let's say, design solution. And here, something which is also specific to BMW i, these are like these large wheels. This is quite untypical, actually, to see such large wheels on a city car or a small car. But again, there was a good reason for that, and that was efficiency. The diameter is quite large, but the tire is very, let's say, narrow, and that helps to make the aerodynamic or the drag resistance like a lot more effective. And of course, from the design standpoint, we win from the aesthetic point of view. This is 19-inch, and when it comes to big wheel, a car designer would never say no. This is, again, a mega city car or a city car. You need a good, let's say, view all around, and this is offered through this window graphic. We call actually this design element stream flow, which is, again, let's say, a unique icon for BMW i that swings from the bed line here up to the rear. That looks also very dynamic, very fluid, very natural as well. And you also see that there's actually a step between the front door and the rear door, because we wanted to make sure that that the rear passenger, and it is often some kids, will also have a good vision from the outside. This is important to all eyes to make the rear seating as attractive as the front seating, and this is possible through this graphic. And in essence, you see that the car optically celebrates the idea of lightweight. It looks like optically light, but it looks also very modern. This is something that we definitely wanted to basically bring into the design of the i3. The rear of the i3 is very special, I would say nearly very spectacular, very futuristic also, because the technology that lies in this car is one part of the future, and this is something that we wanted to really show also through the rear of the car. You see that the extension of the black belt that was running from the front, now you find it back here. This is here all glass. What is also unique for the BMW i3 is the integration of the taillights directly into this part. You don't have any shirt line. It looks like very clean, again, like the shape language that you see on the side. That has a bit the optic of also what you know from some smartphones, so it looks like very high-tech. We, of course, like place the badge i3 here on this surface, and this is actually a very refined detail that you find here. And again, something also which was very important for the development of the i3, again, aerodynamic, which you find here back into the, let's say, the rear spoiler, but also this hedge, which are basically surrounding the car, and which will be helping to, again, reduce the drag coefficient, very important. And you find back also here on the bottom of the car through the rear diffuser. So basically the whole four edges of the car are very sharp and help, again, the idea of efficiency and sustainability. We have been designing for the BMW i3 a very special and highly innovative interior that will offer to the passenger and also the driver a unique experience, because BMW is about sheer driving pleasure, and we believe, like for BMW i, we can also reinterpret this idea of driving pleasure or driving experience, and that's basically what dictated all design. Of course, I'm sitting, for example, on a seat which is like very thin. This is highly innovative because it will allow a lot more, let's say, leg room for the rear passenger. And also, as you see, we have like a highly innovative cockpit. And quite unique, you see that there's no middle console, there's a flat floor. And what that can, for example, allow you to do, you see I'm quite of a tall person, I'm well over like 1.90 m, and you see like it's quite easy to move from a side to another. That can be also very helpful in some critical park situations. And last but not least, we wanted to create a character, and this is also a contribution to design and sustainability, a character that will probably help you to drive this car in a more responsible manner. It offers you many other possibilities or an additional freedom. The way you could, for example, sit in this car, for example, while waiting. It happens to me sometimes to simply grab a book while waiting in the car if I need to. And basically, like I can also sit, for example, like that, lie on the door panel, which is also designed in a way that you can also lean on that. So this is also one of the many ideas that we have in the interior of the i3, which basically depict the idea of next premium, but also qualifies on the aspect and how clean is it, how clever it is, and also how premium it is. If you ask me my personal feeling regarding now this completed car, the production i3, it would probably take me a whole day to tell you all the things I really love on this car. What I essentially love is the general idea of the car. I think all customers will be very special. There will be some pioneers, and I'm sure they will certainly love the car. Some other won't probably like this is also something I love or I hate. But this is also important. This is not the mission of like this, let's say, to convince the whole world. It would be way too ambitious, but probably to convince already a small part of the world, and especially like with people who are like more pioneer. You could write in this on this car with a big, let's say, sticker, I'm gonna change the world. This is what this car is a bit telling you. Like, and it is possible to combine actually. Again, this idea of like, okay, let's move on with a couple of like new things, let's change a few things, let's be more responsible. We don't want to give up on the good things we know in life, such as beauty and a certain hour of performance. This is of course important, but again, I still fulfill to this statement, like this is a car which is unique for very unique people.